It's a little rare to have someone in law enforcement for as long as I've been in law enforcement still have compassion. Because you see a lot and you just get hardened.
Yeah.
But I think my upbringing as a kid made me strong and made me think I want to help others that that struggle.
Welcome back to Around the Districts podcast. I'm Gabrielle Mazar. We're here with Karyn Lathan. She is the Constable of the University Lakes Justice Precinct. And we are starting our second episode. We were talking about evictions in our last episode and some sad stories and happy stories that happen, things that she deals with. But I want to move on to how you feel your history in law enforcement and corrections helps you with what you do now. So you, like we said in the last episode, you talked about your history in the military, your history with law enforcement, and also with your advocacy as well, your victim advocacy. How do you feel that really helps you be more compassionate with people and to do this job the best you can?
Okay. It's a little rare to have someone in law enforcement for as long as I've been in law enforcement still have compassion. Because you see a lot and you just get hardened.
Yeah.
But I think my upbringing as a kid made me strong and made me think I want to help others that that struggle. So I just have always been compassionate with people and trauma-informed care trained. So when I go into a place and I'm evicting them, what got you here? Oh, you lost your job. You need job resources.
Yeah.
You look at the whole person. So
just being compassionate.
I lost your question.
Okay. How's your history better serve you to help serve your community?
Well, like I said before, I was a parole officer, so
Right.
I got to know families and everything about people's lives. And I realized how different they are from mine and from other people I know. And just realizing people have different experiences and you can't expect them to have your experience.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel your sexuality with what happened with you in the military and coming out and dealing with that helps you to understand being more compassionate towards others as well? Obviously, you deal with a lot, especially being kicked out of the military, which hopefully doesn't happen again in the future.
Yeah. Well, I can go far back. I hope it doesn't go too deep.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was raised by two pedophiles.
Okay.
So that gave me some strength to, I don't want other people to go through this.
Yeah.
And had issues in the Air Force as well. One was a quote corrective rape because it was like, you just haven't been with a man yet.
Mm.
So, in fact, that's the one that got me kicked out of the military.
Mm.
So, I try to think about what other people are going through, and their lives, their choices are so different than mine, but they're doing the best that they have.
Yeah.
And I think just growing up, struggling through high school and through, just getting to where I can leave my parents, it gave me a lot of compassion and I just... And strength.
Yeah.
So when I see people, I want to lift them up. I see no reason to to berate them or anything. I want to lift them up and say, you've had a hard time.
Yeah.
Here's some help.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I think it's very impactful for people to know and understand that we all go through things in life, and that there are people out there that are doing good, not just for, fame and money and whatever. They're doing it because they really truly understand where other people are at. And I think it's very sad that we can look down on people for their situation and where they are. And these are traumatic incidents for people, especially being kicked out of their homes with children.
Yeah.
So how do you lessen the traumatic impact for those families? How do you help families with dealing with eviction and homelessness and taking care of their kids and not being able to eat or live?
Right. Sometimes I get a notice prior to the eviction date, and I'll reach out, try to give them some resources. On the eviction date, I absolutely make sure that they have resources. I try and talk to them, not around their kids.
Yeah.
And I carry little toys for the kids to keep them distracted.
The little beanie babies.
Little beanie babies. Yes. And I just try to talk to them as a human being and not as a cop. And that it works.
Yeah.
People respond to that, and about 90% of the people I evict thank me because I do it with
Thanks
compassion.
For kicking me out.
Yeah.
No. Thanks for helping and giving me resources.
Right. Yeah. And sometimes I have to negotiate with the management about, okay, let's give it a little bit more time. And, I just try and help.
Yeah. So what kind of resources can you provide for these specific situations?
My favorite is when I got to Tempe and doing this, I sat down with someone at Tempe, and I said, look, these people, they may have a phone, they may not, they may have a car, they may not. I don't want to give them 5 different resources. I want to give them one. And that's Care 7, Hope Team. Care 7 is the trauma services for Tempe, and evictions are trauma. So they have my name on a drop down. I use them so much. I'll call them and say, this is the situation. What can you do? And they will call around. They'll get the bedding or the beds. They'll do all that stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's a perfect resource that I use. There's Be Connected if you're military. They work really quick. So if you're military, Be Connected is a resource. Those are the 2 that I use the most.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And that helps to house people, give them clothing and bedding and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I think that those are great resources for sure. Many families we know live paycheck to paycheck. How can we help to find a solution to homelessness? I mean, I know that's such a complicated thing. There's so many facets to it. And obviously, mental illness is a factor, drug abuse is a factor. But there are a lot of families that can use help that do better, and you do see improvement in them. And if you give them opportunity and resources that they can improve, how can we help these people and find a solution to at least lessen the impact of homelessness?
Boy, there's a few things to do, but let me talk on the back end, because when I get there, it's kind of the back end. Mm-hmm. Okay. When I get there, it's time you're leaving.
Right. And how long is that? Like, how long normally do you have before you evict somebody? 2 months, 6 months?
Okay, so the basic outline of an eviction for non-payment, because that's the
Right.
majority of
Right.
them, is your complex has like 2 or 3 or 4 days uh,
To notify.
of a grace period
Okay.
to pay.
Yeah.
And at the end of that, they give you a 5-day notice saying you've got 5 days to make this right, or we're taking you to court.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't make it right within the 5 days, then it goes into court. Tuesdays and Thursdays is when we hear evictions, and it'll go into the next day. So it could happen pretty quick.
Yeah.
You go into to court for it, for your judgment, which is why you're being taken to court and all the money. And then once the judgment is given, then it's 5 days. They have to wait 5 days again to let them do something. And then on the 5th day, they apply for the eviction,
Okay.
and I pick it up the next day and go serve it. So it can be
Pretty quick.
Can be quick.
Okay. Sorry, we got sidetracked. So
That's all right.
we're solving homelessness right now.
So,
Trying to.
there's a couple issues.
Yeah.
And one is if we can get them within that period before it gets to court,
Mm-hmm.
And get them resources, that's the best thing. And a lot of the complexes, they give out resources, as well as they'll even fill out the forms for you to get assistance.
Oh, you just burped. That was a dog burp.
So there's that time, but it's really hard to get to them.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm pushing for, and we're working on, is just like if you're going driving and you get a ticket, you can take a class, get it off your record.
Okay.
That's what I want with evictions. Is you get an eviction, you go through a class, money management, etc., all the different program, and then you can get it off your record. Now, why that's important? When you go and you get an eviction, there's two things. One is a judgment, so that's the money, and the other is so you get the judgment, then you get the eviction. The eviction it's called a rent restitution.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you actually get the property back. If you have an eviction, well, the easiest way to stop an eviction is turn your keys into the complex.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it where I walked in and all the drywall was down. If they would have turned in their keys, they still wouldn't have gotten the eviction. They'd have it on the judgment, so that would go on to a civil filing, but you wouldn't have the eviction. The eviction stops you from getting an apartment at another multifamily housing. So your apartment complexes, you can't, if you get an eviction and you can't get another apartment,
Right.
then you're going to be homeless, or you're going to go into slumlords. So those are kind of your options. So we need to catch you right before that time.
Yeah.
So what I want is once they get evicted, that they can get that off their record. If we can work with them to get it off their record, then they can get housed and not under a tree.
Yeah.
But that's one issue, is you have an eviction on your record, then chances are you're going to be unhoused.
Yeah. Well, so I think obviously there's not one solution that's very clearly a part of a solution, because there's so many facets of
Right.
what happens in that. But we can tell that you obviously truly care about your community and about people. But tell me, what are some of your other interests and how they impact kind of the decisions you make and what your plans are for the future?
Okay. Hobbies. I love motorcycles, but I don't currently have one. I also like to bead, and I like to cook.
Mhm.
Outside of that, I like to hang out with my wife.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of politics.
Yeah.
I started off doing politics in 2011, ran for office in Chandler, then moved to Tempe, ran for constable here. I've just been really involved with politics, and so we talk a lot of politics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I talk a lot of politics too, but you're compassionate and hoping that, what you're doing will make a difference. And I hope that it does. You're up for re-election for your third term in 2028.
No,
2024.
26.
What year are we in?
Yeah.
2026.
Yeah.
So re-elect Karyn.
Go to my website, Constable Karyn, sign my petition.
Yep. Well, we will also have that link on the show notes as well. So, so for them, there's a couple different links you can go to because you can vote or sign the petition for everybody.
Right.
But we'll share that link as well. But Karyn, thank you so much for sharing your story today. It was very personal. You did not have to share all that, but I'm grateful that you did, because I hope that it does reach people to know that there are people out there that care and are going through the same things that you do, that you have, that we have, and that's what we're here for. So thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Hopefully other people who are struggling can help others. And then it just helps everybody, because everybody's struggling. So.
Right. And we want to better our communities. So lift everybody up, which helps everybody, not just a select few.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. We really appreciate it. You've been watching Around the Districts. I'm Gabrielle Mazar. Our guest Karyn Lathan today. We will share her links in the show notes, but please join us for our next episode. Like, share, comment, and find us everywhere. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.